All right. Okay. So Streamlit run update without finish. All right. So we were working on this, and you can see here at the top, course management. That's the title of the page. That's how you set it with that code. And also this icon here, do you see this icon? It's the default icon in the page, like in the page right here. Okay. So if you want to change it here in the like the set page config for the icon, you can change it. Okay. For example, here in the text, if you have it, you can download it from today's module, right? So let me see, I can copy this like icon here and then place it in the icon, like page icon. And then if I run it, okay, do you see the icon change, right? So whatever icon you put there, it will just show up in your, like it could be your, like the page icon or like the page, like brand, whatever, like the application brand title that you want to show it. So page icon. The layout, you have like multiple options, centered or let me see. If I remove the centered, added, okay, you have two options, centered and wide. If centered, it just like comes in within the center. If you like started as a wide, okay, run it, it will show as wide. Okay, so you can see that it takes like the whole page. All right. I'm gonna take it back. All right. Since because I did this, let me like mention one thing. So I was switching my laptops, and each one of them, I think they have a different Python version. When I tried to run this code, it showed me an error. And I tried to figure out why this is like an error. And I think the issue was with the Python version. So I wanted to mention this one, which is like here with the double quotations and maybe like the other version, right here with the string like for the dependent. If you like see this one in this version of Python I had, it was showing me an error when I was using the double quotation. Okay, it was showing me an error when I was using double quotation. So I changed it to this one, the other version, and it fixed it. So if, just in case, I wanted to mention, if you had similar, like an issue here with like quotation versus like one version, just try switching it. Sometimes the Python version support different things. All right. So in case of a sidebar, I'm going to remove this and then add the quotation. You can see that in case of a sidebar, you have three options: auto, collapse, and expand it. It just means like the sidebar default is going to be what? So if we put it collapse, we're not going to see it here. Okay, it's kind of collapsed here. We're going to add a sidebar later, but the default is going to be collapsed, so we're not going to see it. And then you can also change this later. All right, so we have this. Very important topic in case of a string, okay? We talk about the key naming, and like elements having a key. This is very important. Sorry about this. This is very important. We talked about a little bit about like assigning a key to the widgets in a Streamlit, like a button, like a text box. But we want to like spend more time on this because it's very important. So a Streamlit, okay, destroys and rebuilds your application every time you interact with it. Very important. Destroys and rebuilds the application every time you interact with it. It doesn't make that much sense. Why? Well, how does that work? But the fact is, when you refresh it, all the information will get lost. All the information that you have probably maybe like in UI, like for example, type something into the text box and refresh it, it probably will get lost. And the thing is, we are going to manage that with assigning keys. If you assign a key to a widget, then Streamlit stores it and it always knows what to reference, what to use when you use like a specific button. it stores it and it keeps a track of that. So if key is just a unique ID, it's a text, it's a unique ID. If we go back here in the generally the one that we were talking about, for example, here, okay? So key is edit title or key is edit description. So we assigned a key here, and it allowed us to keep track of items, and these will get stored in the session, st dot session management, or st dot session state. What is it? We're going to talk about it on Friday, comprehensively on Friday. But once you assign the keys will store in this session state. We have two type of naming for a state for the keys. Very important. Okay, please pay attention for this part. You can assign a name, a static name for a key, a static name for a key. Each one of them have very important consequences for your app. Okay, so what's a static key? Like this one, edit title. This is a static key. Anytime it runs it, it is going to use the same name for that specific button, okay, text box. And throughout all the application, if you have 10 pages, when you try to reference to a text box with this key, it is stored in that a session, whatever is that, and it knows what you're referencing at. It is always with this static name. When it's good to have a static key ID, when you want to keep the prior state in reruns. Let me repeat that. When you want to keep the prior state of an item after reruns, after refreshes. For example, user type something in the search box and you want to show the items that are matched with that. Page gets refreshed, and then again whatever the user type is gone. You don't want that to happen. You want that whatever the user type stays in it in reruns and doesn't get lost. You have to have a static. So every reruns, it keeps its value. It keeps the prior state. The prior state could be empty, or the prior state could be something that the user has already put inside the text, inside the item. Sometimes you don't want to keep the prior state after reruns. When is it? Exactly here in the update. We wanted to build this UI with one important goal. Okay, one important goal. Here, first, prior state. For now, the keys are set to a static for these, right? For these text box says these are static key names. Do you see them? These are static. So these are static. So when I change them, they don't change. They still keep the prior state's value. I changed the assignment, the page got refreshed, but the value didn't change. It kept its prior state because it has a key, a static name for the key. But this is not good here because anytime I want to select the assignment that I want to update, I want the information about that exact assignment to be preloaded into the UI. I want to be dynamic. So when I change the assignment, select a different assignment for changing it, then the information about that assignment to be preloaded into the UI. So it has to be updated, and it doesn't it shouldn't keep the prior state. Shouldn't keep the prior state. So how do I change that? That's when we talk about dynamic key naming. Okay, a dynamic assignment for a key name. So we are going to change it here. For a key name to be dynamic, we are going to make it that with changes, it changes. If there is a change and this the item needs to react to that change, it should change. In this case, you see here, so the key, I used AFS string because the key has to be a text. I used the FS string and then included a variable here. What is that variable? It's the like current ID, or in this case, I'm going to use the selected assignment ID. Okay, let's change it. Let's change it here. I'm going to add this here. First, I'm going to add the FS string. Okay. Add the FS string here before the key title. Now here, add an underline, add the curly brackets, and then select the assignment, and then ID. Okay. So now you matched with this design, you match the key to the selected assignment. Every time selected assignment changes, the ID's name will change. The ID's, the key name will change, sorry, the key name will change. Okay, because the selected assignment will change, and that means the ID will renew. Okay, should we see the difference now? Let's go back to the UI, refresh it. Something I forgot here. Let me see. All right. I told you this thing is kind of name error. Selected assignment. Oh, assignment edit. My bad. This is like I have the assignment edit name. In the prior session, I used the selected assignment. Okay, so here assignment edit. In prior class, I used the name selected assignment, so I kept thinking about that. All right, so assignment edit. So we have the assignment title in the value, and the key is assignment editor's ID. Okay. So for now, I've only updated the key here, but I haven't updated here. This is a static or a sticky key naming. This one's a dynamic, because once the assignment edit will changes, the value will change. It will get a new ID. Okay. So now I'm gonna rerun this. All right. So I will change the assignment to this one. Okay. What is happening here? Do you notice that? The title is changing, but the description is not changing. It is keeping the first original state. That's what we say in the reruns. Do you want to keep the prior state or not? In this case, we don't want to keep the prior state. We want it to be updated. That's why we are going to connect the key to that assignment, to the selected assignment. The same way I will use this one. Key edit first, add the FS string here, and then edit description, add, and then add the curly brackets, assignment edit, and ID. Assignment ID. So now we've assigned them to a dynamic key. Every time the assignment changes, the selected assignment changes, their ID changes, and that means this key will have a new like key name. All right. So now let's try this again. Okay, do you see the change? Do you notice the change now? All right, every time now it is updating. It is like updating the preload information with the assignment that is selected. So in this case, you don't want to keep the prior state. You don't want to keep the prior state. When do you want to keep the prior state? Here. You don't want to, like, let's say I will type, okay, homework 1, okay. Oh, not this one. Okay, homework 1. Okay. So when I change it, like when I change things, I don't want it to change. That's why here I want to keep the prior state. I'm not going to assign dynamic key names to these items. If like when there is like a reruns in this page, I still want to keep them like the items, the inputs of the user into the UI. That makes sense, right? Like in cases you want to hold the prior state info, like here, when the user is working on developing an assignment, you don't want to do a refresh and then you lose the information that already provided, you have to do it again. In the other case, when the user provides the input, okay, selects an assignment, you want it to be updated based on the state. And as long as the assignment is this, it is going to keep the information in V1 because it's connected to that assignment. It is going to keep it. All right, so this is about the keys, okay? This is about the keys. When do you want to have a fixed name? Whenever like you have something like a new title, like create forms, sidebar filters, your search box, navigations, these things, you want to have a static keys. So in reruns, you still keep like the state. One dynamic is when like it says the instance repurposes itself to display different data. If you want to show like an edit form, then you probably you should use a dynamic key. How about the naming convention? Okay, so there is no like a specific like requirement for naming, but it's good for you to practice using a specific convention that you define initially for the name of the key. Okay, very important. Here you can use like, for example, if you want to go with a similar like approach, you use like the action, the field, the identifier, like create, okay, let's say like update title homework, right? The first one is the action, the second one is like the field, and then the third one is like, the assignment ID or whatever is like linked to that item. Why is this important? We're going to talk about session, st.session, next session. These keys are recorded over the period of like the application is running. This grows and grows like when as much as you have like your app is growing. At some point I had hundreds of widgets working throughout the sessions, like when the user was like logged in. And I had this issue. I would go and like I would have like developed one part. I was trying to develop a new page, and I would have a hard time remembering what was the key name I used for a specific item, because I didn't use a convention throughout the application so I can remember. I had to go over all these pages to remember what key name I used, for example, for user, for the user's role, so I can come back and reference to it. So using the convention will help you over time. So when you want to reference it, you can quickly jump back into like quickly knowing that what is the name of the like name of a key that you've stored for an item in your session. All right. Next important thing is me having a coffee. Coffee. Any question? All right. Next big thing is a ST.rerun. rerun. I want to emphasize this. This is very important. Okay. If you're working with a Streamlit, this is one of the big things that you're going to keep reusing and adding, but at the right place. ST.rerun. But this is about like refreshing without refreshing. You don't want to refresh the page. You want the page to be refreshed after an action that requires refreshing the page. How you do it with the st.rerun. Let me show you exactly what we mean by this, okay? We are going to go over and see that in the like update assignment. All right. Do you see any st.rerun? Do we have any st.rerun? We don't have it. All right. So let's go here. Select an assignment. I'm going to select an assignment. I'm going to change this description here for intro to database. I will change it. This is a new description. All right. Everything is good. Okay. And update. Okay, update it. So update was technically successful. I'm going to go to view assignments. All right. It showed me update was successful. It is showing the view, but it's showing me this. So what is wrong here? I just updated the information.
You have to update it with user file.
You actually updated it. What we didn't notice was that we needed to refresh it so it updates us for us. All right. That was the thing that we didn't have it. Now I'm going to change this. Okay, I'm going to add st.rerun. Pay attention to where I put it. Okay. When you put it st.rerun, it is important that when you want to say, okay, these are the steps, and after this, you're going to rerun. Because it's going to refresh the page. So let's go back and update assignment, introduction to database. This is a new assignment in round 2 with st.rerun. Okay. So what I did, I just added here after the success in update st.rerun parentheses. Okay. You have to have like the parentheses here. One note, as someone who's been using used Streamlit for a long time, and this if you use AI, it might make a mistake, so keep in mind. Streamlit used to have this experimental rerun. I think this was a okay. So it used to be like some experimental run. So some models are still giving you that code, but this is wrong. It is not working anymore. It is replaced by rerun. Okay. So if you see that, just remember to tell the AI, hey, you should use st.rerun. And in your code, just remember it is st.rerun now, not experiment or experimental rerun. All right, so I have this, and let me update it. Actually, I want to change this update it I think we kind of quickly jump into it, so I want to update this. Okay, assignment is updated. Assignment is updated. Just that. Okay, just a message, and then I will update it. Okay, what happened? You didn't see the message anymore. I will tell you why, but first let's try the rerun. Go back to this. Okay, I didn't refresh it this time, but it actually shows me the correct information. That's because of the rerun. Okay, it refreshed the page. Why I didn't see the message? Because the space from st to the next line is very millisecond. It showed it, but it was so fast we didn't see it. So if we want to see it, we are gonna sleep time dot sleep for 5 seconds. So we can, before refreshing it, you can see the sign like that message. If you want to make sure that the user knows it was updated, not just like sits and looks at something is happening and then nothing happened. You have to have feedback. Feedback is very important in like app design for a user to understand this, like what is happening with the application. So round 3, okay, update. Okay, now we got to see that message, okay? Because of that, and then update it. All right. So if you go back to the assignments and it's updated. Any question? So I probably should have added the parentheses here, just in case you don't forget that always comes a parenthesis after rerun. All right. I would think that you can also go back now to add that st.rerun after you record the assignment here. Let's like add a comment like now that we've completed this, okay? You can comment it out. You don't need to show it in the like add the assignment, but after it, add a st.rerun, st.rerun, and then parentheses in add an assignment. You see, it's the tab add new assignment. I said after taking it like an action, this says pay attention very well. It is still inside if the button is clicked. If the button is clicked and there is no warning, basically we've collected the information inside the spinner, you've added the assignment, and then you've recorded it, and then you attempt to rerun it. You attempt to rerun it. So follow that. First, assignment is added to the assignment. Then it's recorded. Then you show the message. If you want to do this correctly, add a slip here so the user actually sees, okay, the message. Because now you have, okay, just 4 seconds. Because you're gonna rerun the page quickly after this message. If you don't show that by the sleep, you don't delay going to the next line, it is going to quickly go to the next line and you won't see the message. All right. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay. This should have been like probably the next thing that the organization is kind of not correct here. All right. Last session I didn't cover this, which was, hey, like in edit assignment, we should probably like load every important information we have about the assignment, and the user might need to change them. The other thing that we could have like added here was the radio bar. We can add the radio bar here, okay? But here's the difference. Like we follow this pattern using the value inside the text boxes to load the information for that specific assignment into the UI, okay? So here in the update assignment, because of this like code here, value equal to assignment like edit title, that's why when I select a different assignment, it loads the information about the assignment into UI. So here is the difference for radio bar. The radio bar doesn't have a value argument. Instead, it has an index argument, okay? So where is that? SD radio index argument. All right. So first, I'm gonna add the radio bar here, okay? So let's just add the what is that? Edit. Okay, my system for some reason is like messed up. Edit. I need to exactly find. All right. So edit type. Okay. SD.radio. Okay. This is type. All right. And this one was homework, homework and lab. And key, okay, what is the key? Again, F. So edit, type, underline, and then assignment, edit, ID. All right. So I'm adding this like radio button to like select the item. If I run this, that's correct. Okay. But after each assignment selection, it is not updating this because we haven't connected or like the value to that assignment. Okay. It doesn't preload the information. So what I can do here, I need to take a step here in order to find the like the basically preload the information like this one and have a value. Let's create a list. Okay, let's say, I'm gonna type it as type option. Okay, type options. Homework and a lab. All right. Probably the best way could have been just we define it one in one place and just like reference it. Because this is not good. Just define it everywhere. Anyway, that's good. All right. So I want to say selected, okay, selected index. What is the selected index is type options dot index. Okay. So you want to find in that list, you pass the like the like assignment edit. Now we can pass the assignment edit and you're gonna pass the type. Let's see what it does. Assignment edit type will give us the assignment, the selected assignments, like an assignment type. And then it looks at this list and finds a match to say, okay, if it's a lab, the index is 1. If it's a homework, the index is 0. So it gives us one value in that index, like one like index in this list. All right, the list. So now I will do this here. Okay, I'm gonna like let's say just stick with this type options because now we are just like working with the list. Simply just let's reference it. So I replace like just defining the list here with like defining the list outside the item. Now index. Okay, index is selected index. Index is selected index. Okay. So for a radio button or this type of like items, if you face and you couldn't find a value, check for an index. Some of them are based on index, not a value. If it's based on an index, you need to find like the single list, what is the index, and then reference the index. One more thing, I couldn't recall this one, so I'm like gonna run it. We might get an error here. Okay, so I will tell you this. Okay, do you see this error? If like here is the thing, anytime you are working with text and you want to preload the information for like a selection, the best way is to validate it with capitalized or lowercase or uppercase. Sometimes the information is stored as a lowercase, sometimes it's stored as an uppercase. And if you don't like check for a validation, it will show you an error. I couldn't remember exactly what was the function to capitalize it. I didn't get a chance to check it. That's why it shows you. I will check it for next session and I will bring it. The error is this. If I go back here, view assignment, do you see this? Like some homeworks are stored with a like a lowercase, some of them like with an uppercase. So it doesn't find them like it is like showing the error. It says like doesn't match with these like items. We just need to validate it or basically either lowercase it or capitalize it and then compare it. I'm sorry. I should have like checked like this one before the session. It should be a very simple, just like a check for like check the value to be capitalized. It's just a very quick thing. I can check like what is the function. Yes, if you know it, you can tell me and I can change it. Yes.
Well, the top of like this is a photo like that, like a list.
Oh, okay. So in that case, like, did you follow this? Maybe make sure that you've added these steps because it is showing you the whole list instead of the like option.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I'm good.
So for this one,
Function is that.
yeah, like I can check like what is like it has to be lowercase. Like here, I need to make sure like whenever I'm selecting that, okay, I need to make sure that I lowercase them or uppercase them, either way. If it's an uppercase, then here at this point, I need to uppercase it, and capitalize like the first one, and then ask it to check me for an index because it's like this comparing it at that line. All right. But at least we can see like here, when I select the homework 3, it loads the homework, right? And then if I go back here, it correctly preloads the information about the assignment. So I wanted to mention how we can preload the information for a radio box. All right. Okay, next important thing. So we are going to go to the, like, these are the things that were like I left them to like complete them after we have this like kind of like the app developed. All right, let's go back to the view tab. All right, let's go to the view tab. What is the issue here? First, what does it do here? It is tab 2, tab 1, view assignments, and this one is from the radio button when we go over like selecting an assignment, searching for an assignment. Do you see what it does? The first step is it stores the titles in a list. Then in the select box, it shows the titles. Then again, I create like a dictionary. Then again, I check for a match in the assignments. The first time I see a match, I record it and I break it. What is the issue here? Issue is the reason that in database, you always have a primary key for every record in a table. You say, I cannot trust title to be the like the unique identifier because we could have multiple assignments with the same title. So what will happen here? Maybe the user is looking for a different assignment that will come after this, but the titles are the same. The first time it finds a match, it stores it and breaks it. You see the issue here? If you are looking for one person in like the list of users, and those like 2 people have the same name. If you're looking for the name, the first name that is matched, like it shows a match, it stores in the like the dictionary and then breaks it. But you actually were looking for someone else. Issue with like this type of comparison. So how do we fix it? How do we actually make sure that we don't have this like a duplication problem? So I will show you a different way to do it. Okay, a different way to do it. I'm gonna keep this, but like type a different version. Okay, so I'm gonna add st.divider here. Okay, st.divider, just like tell you the different version. st.divider adds like a line, adds a line. Okay. Okay. Do you see the selected assignment? All right. I'm gonna add the selected assignment here and then select box. Oh, st.select box. Okay. Select title, for example. Select title. Now, here we have an argument option. Options. For the options, I'm going to give it the list of assignments. The list of assignments. Yes, you actually can pass the whole assignment to the select box. Now let's go back to the UI and see how it looks like very quickly. Okay, do you see this? You can show the complete dictionary as a select box. Okay, sounds good. When the user selects it, what will happen? It will store here in the selected assignment. It actually stores the selected assignment, the dictionary this time, with the whole information, not just with one value. So here, when I select an assignment, do you see the whole thing changes? Because when I select it, it passes the complete dictionary. So I didn't have to search for it or anything. One thing is missing here because here, this is messy. You don't want to like show it this way. You still want to show it to title, for example, or any other like format. But when the user selects, you actually get the dictionary, not just the title. So for that, there is like a function, format function, format func as a argument. This is a string that you will show it in the select box. Using fstring, I will add fstring. So first, I needed to add this like a lambda here, equal lambda x colon and then fstring. All right, then fstring. Let me close this. Okay, so you're using lambda for x for every selected item to create a string and show it in the select box. So for example, here I will say inside the square bracket, get the x. X is that dictionary, the selected item, and only title. Okay. Lambda, do you remember from Python, which is like for like from the assignments, every like assignment from assignments. That's like how this lambda is working. X is kind of for each assignment, get the title and show it in the select box. Now let's go back here. Okay, what happened? So we see the title. We actually passed the list of assignments, but we only see the title. If you want to change it, simply do this. X, okay, I'm going to add parentheses and add this, and then again say X. This time I will say, for example, let's say type. This part is about building in a string whatever you want to show about the assignment in the select box. Just building in a string with the items you have. Okay. Let's go back here and see what is changed, right? Exactly that format. Title, a space, parentheses, type. So whatever you build in that lambda, it is what it is showing in the UI here. Whatever you create here using the elements, it will show in the output. All right. One more thing before we finish it and take the finish. That's the last step with SD dot sidebar. I want to finish it here. Okay. So what is a sidebar? Sidebar will come. We have the sidebar set up here. Where's that sidebar? So sidebar is very simple. We can add like anything into like the left. We only have 1 minute. So with sidebar, I will say st.markdown. Okay, sidebar. All right. You can add buttons. You can add anything to it. If you add type, okay, you see it. I've added it outside the tabs, right? sd.sidebar. If you rerun this, because we collapsed it, okay, you see that the default was collapsed. Now the sidebar shows. You can add buttons, you can add anything to that sidebar, and it will be your sidebar. All right, I'm gonna commit this and push it, but let me just run the attendance here. All right, so this is now we can move on to the next stage and then come back here. Okay, come back here and connect this to whatever we are going to do next session, just session management. But we are going to build the login registration for this specific app next session. And then after that, we are going to connect them to build a complete app. All right. See how things are going. I hope this was good. We finished the and then you can go back. I know at the end it was a little bit faster. But you know we do different types. All right. If you haven't loaded for like the final, please make sure to load it. And this should be at.
Do I need to, is this part, do I need to add the ID so it can update in the title spot? Also, this part, like, I'm looking at this update here.
Oh, no. So what I said, this is another version, right? So we don't need both of them. I wanted to show you that.
Separate.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you that we only want one of them, but this one, you always like make sure that there's no application here. You might have like assignments with the same name. But this one, because it works with the actual extension, that's the application, you know. And also you don't go through like first let me extract titles and then let me extract the IDs and so on, right? You don't play, you select the whole like
But I use that same logic for like viewing here, but I use that same logic for like.
Yeah, so from now on, you should actually use this format because this is the correct format. Why don't you kind of like build on like
Yeah, they're just wondering if I can see Alright. I got this. Trying to figure out how to get rid of it.
It's something that on 50 was Oh, okay, so in the radio button. Oh, so here it's a list. Here,
The crack where which.
It's like that. This is one. Or you just put them all in one day.
Okay, this is correct, and this time.
You said I emailed this one.
Like, you need, like the selection, it's not your. You needed to fix the PC home. I needed to recalculate. This is not. But this is correct.
You don't have.
Yes.
In terms of actual projects, so I'm just leaving it as jobs.